Hello, and thank you for joining this RS DesignSpark webinar. My name is Janice Fenton from technical marketing agency Publitech, and I will be your host. Before we start, let's make sure that everyone can hear us. If you're having problems, please check your sound setup. Check that the speakers or headphones of your computer or mobile device are turned on and your volume is turned up. If there's still no sound, please try refreshing your page. To avoid audio and video stream buffering, we recommend using a wired internet connection, disconnecting VPN, and closing any programs or browser sessions running in the background. During the course of the webinar, you will have the opportunity to submit questions using the Q&A facility at the bottom of your screen. We will collect all questions and try to answer them during the Q&A session at the end of the webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be available on demand. If you're watching on demand, you could submit the questions via the DesignSpark website. So now let me introduce today's speakers. First, we have Mike Bray, Vice President, Innovation and DesignSpark at RS, who will kick off today's webinar with a reminder of where RS DesignSpark started, the journey so far, and the strategy behind the introduction of DesignSpark 2.0. Next, we have Joydipto Chowdhury, DesignSpark Software Experience Manager, who will show you how the DesignSpark 2.0 tier-based model works and what it offers. And lastly, Pete Wood, Head of DesignSpark Experience, will talk a little bit about the Activist Engineering Programme. Mike, over to you.
Thanks, Janice. Would you be kind enough, before we start, enable me to show my video, because it tells me the host has disabled my video. Thank you. Excellent. So thank you for joining, everybody. Great to be able to talk to you today about our journey on RS DesignSpark, what we've done and where we are going next. We have a lot of people on the webinar whose names I recognise, so thank you for joining, particularly those of you who've been members of DesignSpark for some time as well, or partners with DesignSpark. So really appreciate you taking the time to join us. So I'm going to do a bit of a refresher on where we've been before we start looking at the future. A little bit of history, first of all. Let's go back to 2010 and when we started. Some of you will remember the black and yellow frame for our website at the time. Well, we launched in July 2010. We're now approaching 13 years old and we have 1.3 million members worldwide. We have 5 million visitors that come to our website per annum, viewing around 7 million pages of content on our site. So that means content is opened approximately once every 4 seconds during a working week. We're embedded within the engineering journeys of design engineers around the world. And they use us for our free professional level design tools and our amazing community projects as well. So putting a bit more color on that, where we spark, we're used in over 193 countries, and that's a visual representation on screen there of where the depth of our membership sits. Broadly across major design areas in the world, where there are engineers, students, and professionals all gathered, working and learning together. And our membership comes from all walks of life. Our demographic ranges from 18 to 80 years old. Our strongest demographic is actually in the 18 to 34-year-old category. But we have members from all eras with all kind of skills and techniques for sharing. And to give a bit more color onto those members that we have, around 20% of our cohort are students. People who are looking to learn, build their reputation, learn about skills, techniques, and design principles that are going to hold them in good stead as they move into their professional working life. Around 40% of our audience are makers and hobbyists. They're interested in developing and designing for personal use, but also for community projects and to share their inspiration with others as well. And then another 40% on top are professionals. People working within small enterprises, from startups right the way through to big global OEMs, some of the big brand names that you would instantly recognize from hardware, technology, and aerospace and travel as well. And they're using DesignSpark as a validation check for their designs and their techniques. And the reason they use us is because of the CAD tools, the forums, the product reviews, all of the content and support that we offer. Yeah, we build a reputation as a trusted resource for engineers. They use us because they know that we are providing them with authenticated information. And that leads into their inspiration becoming reality. And to help them on that journey, we have a pool of bloggers and influencers that we've worked with over the years to develop some really high concept competitions, projects, yeah, and also working together with leading technology partners worldwide, bringing their technologies and their solutions to life, yeah, through the initiatives that we run through DesignSpark. And that gives our audience that context, that flavor of what is going to be useful to them. And is what has built us to a point where today we can now take learning from what they've told us that is going to inform our transformation into what we're calling DesignSpark 2.0. So to bring that to life a little more, our purpose is around getting great minds to share. Engineers are brilliant. Yeah, we really value the content, the projects and the developments that design engineers are constantly striving to make. What we think can make a difference, though, if we can connect them together, if we can inspire them to collaborate and innovate for a better tomorrow. So our vision is to create the world's most active and engaged design engineering community, creating solutions that improve the world around us. And to do that, we are giving our members the power and the value of our community, together with resources that help them realize the design and development of sustainable products. That's our purpose in a nutshell. Now, to deliver on that, we went to speak to our members and got feedback from them on what they value about DesignSpark, but also what they would like to see more of. Their challenges are really simple. And where they say DesignSpark really helps them today is it shortens their design times to market. The content that we provide, the tools, the resources that they find available for free, mainly meets their needs as an engineer. However, there are gaps. Yeah, and we've heard constant feedback over the course of our 13-year existence around the kind of gaps that people would like to see within our tool sets. But also what's become apparent more recently is the kind of gaps that enable people to move faster in getting product designs into reality and built out to market. So we did a little bit more testing around this to understand what is that value that they're looking to unlock. And most of it comes back to they need a little bit more horsepower within both the design tools that exist today and potentially new design tools that we can offer to market tomorrow as well. And giving them options that are going to help review, prototype and build their designs so that they can use a set of trusted and recommended partners that are going to help them move faster. There was a recognition from our members that that doesn't come for free. Yeah, there's a level that they know they need to step beyond in order to be able to get the additional features that they're looking for. And they were happy to pay for that if they could be in control of their costs. What they were looking to avoid doing was seeing recurring billing costs at a high value. So this is where it's led us to in our journey towards DesignSpark 2.0. We've released a set of new experiences for our members. From our free Explorer tour, keeping all of the content and the goodness that is available today through DesignSpark available tomorrow for free to our users, through to two new tiers aimed at startups, through the creator tier and professional makers, through to OEMs and high-end users, engineer tier, and putting them in control of their costs as well. So giving them low-cost entry points that they can dial up or dial down whenever they need it. And to bring that to life, just to explain what's behind the propositions, we have 4 key threads through our community and our platforms. First of all is our design software. DesignSpark PCB and DesignSpark Mechanical are 2 very well-established software brand names in the market. We're continuing to invest in those with our partners, and we're also bringing in new capability, which Joy will share more around as we move forward. Secondly, we're enhancing our skills and learning. We have a range of content available today for free on DesignSpark, which will continue to sit there, but enhancing that underneath will be more tips and tricks, video tutorials, and so on, to help get our users get more out of the additional capability. Product and part information is super important for our users. So augmenting our 2D and 3D CAD part libraries, we're now introducing more parts intelligence with access to over 1 billion manufacturer part numbers and the relative compliance in life cycle and alternatives information that contains as well. And then finally, our community and support. Our forums remain free to access. And alongside that, we'll be introducing more premium content from leading suppliers and technical experts, plus more FAQs and other bespoke activity as well. So that means our subscription tiers are now accessible for all our members. And it's important to point out our free tier, our Explorer tier, remains free to use for every member across every part of our offer. And it gives you the tools, the resources, the skills, learning and community that you've treasured up to now. But what it now gives you the ability to do is to upgrade at any point when needed for additional capability and dial that back whenever you don't need it as well. You're in control of your subscription. And the 2 new tiers, Creator and Engineer, unlock more capability on demand for a monthly fee, enabling you to determine which is the right subscription package for you whenever you need it. And again, giving you the capability to dial back once complete as well. So with that, I'm going to hand over to Joy, who is now going to talk more around what the software features and resources are that lie underneath the hood of the new DesignSpark 2.0.
Thank you, Mike. So I'd like to take the time now to just talk you through some of the notable features in our software and also our other subscription resources. I'll start off with DesignSpark PCB, our electronic schematic and circuit design application. So the first key feature we have in the Creator and Engineer subscriptions is the SnapEDA integration. We've partnered with SnapEDA.com to give you free access to millions of CAD models for electronic components. You can easily search for schematic symbols and PCB footprints, download and insert the models into your PCB projects. You can search by a specific keyword or manufacturer part numbers, get instant results, and preview the model before downloading. You will need a SnapEDA.com account to use this integration, as it helps you keep track of all the downloaded parts, seek support, and request new part creation. Next, we've got the blind and buried vias feature available in the Engineer subscription tier. Useful in high-density PCB design, blind and buried vias are used to connect between PCB layers where space is a limitation. In DSPCB, these connections between layers are defined in the Layer Spans tab. When routing copper tracks, you need to switch to the layer span from the track layer dialog and a blind or buried via. You can see in this demo a 3D view of both a blind and a buried via in DSPCB. Up next, we've got differential pairs, a feature exclusive to our engineer plan. In PCB design, so differential pairs refers to a pair of tightly coupled tracks that carry complementary signals of the same magnitude but opposite polarity. It's used particularly in high-quality audiovisual applications where the received signal needs to be amplified. In DSPCB, these pairs can be defined using the net class settings within the design technology dialog, and they must be enabled for use via their respective checkboxes. DSPC will automatically detect pairs of nets using this net class. You can define pair settings such as cap and skew as well. Next, we've got design rule checks available in all subscription tiers. So design rule checks is the final validation to ensure your design matches the rules you have defined, such as spacing clearances. In the higher tiers, there are additional sanity checks in the DRC dialog to help with design verification, including checks that could be overlooked and could potentially cause costly manufacturing errors. You can see these extra design rule checks highlighted in the clip. Next, we've got the Bill of Materials Composer available in the Creator and Engineer subscriptions. The Bill of Materials Composer helps simplify the task of producing a bill of materials as part of your production documentation. You can customize the supplied BOM template and see changes in real time. You can also output to our DesignSpark mechanical software, and it's a feature available in all our subscription plans. You can export your PCB to a 3D model in the IDF format, which also features component height values. After importing this IDF to DSM, you can build an enclosure for your PCB with your knowledge of the maximum height of these components. And finally, we've got the Instant Bill of Materials quote with RS, also available in all our subscription plans. The Bill of Materials quote is available via the named button in the right-hand end of the menu bar. The BOM quote will first display your bill of materials for your current designer project and will also provide local price and availability if you have an active internet connection. If you choose to continue, your BOM will be loaded into a product basket on your local RS website where you can review it and check out. You can also substitute for alternative products if one of those items in your BOM is out of stock or discontinued. Now let's talk about DesignSpark Mechanical, our 3D modeling program. First, I'd like to cover our easy geometry creation, which is a key aspect of our mechanical software. The direct modeling kernel in DSM makes it simple to quickly take your design from a concept to a prototype. You can join up a few line segments and curves into a surface, make copies or patterns with the move tool if needed, and use pull to extrude a solid. You can then transform the solid with various 3D editing tools like pull, combine, blend, etc., until you get a desired shape. DSM is native to the Windows operating system and is optimized for touch input. With our paid subscription plans, you can also import and export in a wider range of file formats like STEP, IGS, DWG, AMF, STL, OBJ, and SKP. Next, we've got the 3D mirror tool, a key feature in our creator and engineer plans. The mirror tool allows a selected object to be flipped over a mirror line or plane. Changes to the original object now apply to its reflection as long as the relationship is maintained. You can also isolate the mirror relationships to certain features on your object rather than the whole thing. So as you can see in the clip, you are able to change a dimension in the original object and the mirror immediately adopts the changes. Next, we've got the detailing options for drawing sheets available in the creator and engineer subscription plans. You can detail your designs in 2D engineering drawings with notes, geometric tolerances, hole tables, BOM tables, welding symbols, and use a surface finish tool. You can also apply cosmetic threads. DSM supports multiple industry standards for your annotations, including ASME, GIS, ISO, and GB, and conforms to the ASME Y14.5 standard for GD&T symbol creation. We also have model-based definition available in the creator and engineer plans, using semantic GD&T and 3D dimension annotations to provide greater clarity of control features over 2D drawings for an in-depth 3D visualization. It allows you to easily convey manufacturing requirements of specific parts and reuse these enriched parts across projects. Next, we've got the equations tool available in all our subscription plans. You can use parametric equations to define unique curve patterns in 2D and 3D space, or pick one from our available curve types, such as an Archimedes spiral, a Vivianus curve, and much more. You can also apply your custom equations using the equation editing tool. Next, constraint-based sketching. This is also available in all our subscription plans. You can apply constraints to your sketches to reduce degrees of freedom and create precise geometric relationships. Types of constraints available include collinearity, tangency, symmetry, and much more. You can also use a construction line in your 2D design to mirror constraint features. We also have an integrated 3D model library available in all our subscription plans. Powered by Trace Parts, you now have access to over 100 million manufacturer-approved 3D parts for all engineering disciplines. You can seamlessly insert into your current project or even download a model for later use. These 3D models are tagged with our stock numbers to easily create a bill of materials and get a quote on producing your design. Next, we have the measure and quality tools available in all subscription plans. You can use these measure quality tools to check geometry for errors, estimate the size, mass, and volume of objects, display body interference, and assess quality of design surfaces. The quality tools help you identify anomalies or discontinuities in a surface that workspace shading usually can't show. And finally, we have a plethora of customization options available in all our subscription plans. You can reassign keyboard shortcuts, adjust workspace views, change rendering and shading settings, apply an anti-aliasing setting, change color schemes, change your toolbar layout, and much more to adjust the software for your day-to-day use. Up next, I'd like to cover a few of the subscription features on our website. So you have access to forums to interact with our community, get answers on different technology topics, and CAD software on the dedicated forums. You can seek help on projects and much more. Next, we've got the Learning and Support Centers. This is where you can find guides and tutorials for our subscription software and services to help you get more proficient with them. Written by in-house experts and our developers, you can deep dive into a feature and understand the best practices to make the most of our design tools. We also have a support center, which offers troubleshooting tips for our subscription plans and software. Next, we've got the Product Design Center. Here you can find product information for more than 1 billion parts, such as average lead times, export compliance status, HTTPS, EECN numbers, country of origin information, end of life estimates, product alternatives, ROCE and REACH compliance information, and predictive life cycle data. You can also access data sheets for these parts on this page. I'd like to now move on and give you a preview of what's to come next month in terms of our software. We're looking to introduce a new cloud-based circuit simulation tool, which will provide you a complete design, simulation, and analysis environment for electronic circuits and mechatronic systems. This tool will run online on any modern web browser and on any device. What you can see in this demo is an early preview, and more details will be released shortly. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Pete to talk us through the Activist Engineering program.
Thanks, Joy. So in addition to our great new subscription plans, we have another part of our transformation, and that is around activist engineering. So what is activist engineering? So the evolution of technology to drive the modern world has had a detrimental effect on the impact of the health of the planet and the well-being of its inhabitants. So as design engineers, we play a key role in selecting those components that we use to design and create products and solutions. So we have the power to design more responsibly and make more of an impact on the world around us. So this can range from choosing greener components, making products consume less energy, making them smaller, making them more repairable, and basically increasing the product life cycle before they end up in the landfill. So aligned to the RS Group ESG agenda, the DesignSpark Activist Engineering mission is about championing engineering responsibility to design engineers. So this is a call to action to engineers from around the world to take to their workshops and use their knowledge and their skills to engineer for a better tomorrow. So through activist engineering, our goal is to help reduce the environmental, social impacts of engineering activities and utilize technologies to make positive impacts on people and the planet. So our purpose is to unite design engineers from around the world and make DesignSpark a destination where we can educate and inspire positive impacts, influence engineers to take responsibility and not just accept the status quo, promote engineering responsibility for impactful stories, and encourage others to act and share their stories too. And finally, enabling engineers with tools, training, and resources to support them on their activist engineering journey. So to start off and raising awareness around and build traction for activist engineering purpose, last year we launched a community project driven around air quality. So we created an environmental sensor development kit, or ESDK for short, and this is our cloud-based connected open source sensor kit that was designed using our DesignSpark tools. Its purpose was to enable our community to measure the impact and raise awareness of poor air quality where they live, work, or commute, and they share their data and their application stories and their proposals to tackle the problem back to the community. This might be through engineering a solution, changing lifestyle habits, or lobbying local authorities, but ultimately the data they share and the stories they tell will inspire others. So what we did next is we got 12 influencers from around the internet. Some of them were DesignSpark members, and we asked them to create and share a set of projects utilizing that ESDK kit that would inspire the DesignSpark community to take part in the second stage. If you've been following some of our stories or seen the DesignSpark team at events like Electronica, some of these projects might be familiar to you. For example, the CO2 Canary, done by Jude Pullin, is a project that warned you of rising CO2 when working in a poorly ventilated space. Cecilia's Breathe Better Bear warns you of the changing in air quality with approaching wildfires. And Geeky Faye's necklace glows when it detects secondhand smoke. Once we shared all these stories on DesignSpark, we then invited the community to apply for one of the ESDK kits. We gave out 50 of those, and we chose the best applications and ideas. We sent them out to the community, and now they're testing those in their environments, and they're sharing about their stories and their data. We've now progressed on from that, and we've taken some of our favorite projects, and we're sponsoring a handful of those, take those to the next stage. Michael's Mindful Joy was inspired by Ella, a London schoolgirl who sadly died as a result of an asthma attack linked to the exposure to nitrogen dioxide and particulate matter generated by vehicles. Now, as a father himself, Michael wanted to use his engineering skills to help raise awareness of traffic pollution around schools where children learn and play. So Michael is going to be running a pilot initiative with a local school, and he will deploy sensors to collect air quality data. He'll put them in and around the school, but also he will attach his Mindful Joy to the backpacks of children as they walk to and from school. And that collected data will help them build up a better picture of the problem and ultimately result in the change in traffic patterns around the school. Next phase, we'll look to scale the initiative and other schools wider in the UK. Next, we move on to Ahmed. Now, Ahmed lives in Lagos, Nigeria, and the main causes of pollution are traffic congestion, industrial emissions, and excessive reliance on gas-powered generators. Now, the aim of this project is to give people access to local real-time air quality data and display it on a public interactive map. Now, using a network of fixed and mobile particulate matter sensors, CO and NO2, and in the addition to the fixed sensors, he plans to attach sensors to taxis to collect ground-level air quality data as they drive around the city. This map that will be available in public places will allow users of the pollution hotspots so they can make an informed decision where they want to go between point A and B, and they can see which is the least polluted and take that route. And finally, we move on to Malta. And now Malta is a small island in the Mediterranean in Europe. It is one of the most polluted places in the European Union, and that's because it's small and it's got a large population, has heavy traffic congestion, agriculture, power plants, industry, and household pollution are all big emitters to the island, as well as Sahara dust storms that come across. So the health and well-being of the next generation of the islanders is a big concern. And working with a local Irish group partner, so here, Tony, and with the interest of the Maltese education authorities, we've deployed 10 of our ESDK kits and we put them into schools on the islands. These will collect the data that will be analysed to get a greater understanding of the extent of the pollution problems, and then look for solutions to try and improve the situation. So that the school children have a better understanding of the project, because most of them are under 11, what we've done is Cecilia's, who's Better Bear was a forest fire project. We've actually reconfigured that, sit in the schools and pick up the particulate matter data. So when the children see the bear reacting to the particulate matter going up, they know that the air is bad because that they understand that better than they would just looking at the data. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete. Now let's move on to questions. A reminder to attendees to submit your questions via the Q&A facility at the bottom of your screen, please. Okay, first question. Why have you made these changes? Is free still any good?
Thanks, Janice. I'll pick that one up. So we went through in the early stage of the presentation some of the customer feedback that was received on both the current DesignSpark offer and then the value that engineers were looking for to unlock a little bit more value on there. And it's a recognition, the changes we've made are really a recognition of the fact that the offer needs to evolve to meet the needs of those engineers. But what we don't want to be doing is piling a huge amount more cost onto an engineer, potentially worth thousands, when their significant request is be in control of my costs. I would also like to point out free remains a core part of our offer. Free is part of how we built 1.3 million members. The design tools that we offer, the content and the community is something to be celebrated. And we want to keep championing that. So what we are committing to is to continue to give our users a free experience that mirrors what they've seen before. And on top of that, we can then give a little bit more horsepower to unlock more capability at a cost that the users can control.
Okay, thank you, Mike. Next question. What happens to my existing projects or designs when I move between tiers?
Thanks, Janice. I'll take that question. So with your existing projects, if you're moving up from a previous version into a new mechanical software version of PCB, you can migrate your projects using the native format, as in RS docs for the mechanical software and .pcb or SCA schematic files for our PCB software. And you can also move your Explorer plan projects into the creator or engineer tier. So also in the native format, or using one of the neutral file formats that the Explorer tier can export. So hopefully that answers the question.
Thanks, Joy. Next question. You say you'll be using subscriptions to fund future developments. What will those be?
Thanks, Janice. I'll pick that one up. It's a really good question. We showed a couple of those new developments in the run through that Joy talked to earlier. So one is about the products and parts information, so giving more expanded data and attribute level information to engineers to make informed choices about which products they use, plus the supporting information on environmental and compliance information too. And we're also next month launching our online cloud schematic creator, which is a new tool that has been much requested by users over the course of the last X number of years, probably more than I care to mention, to be absolutely honest, that gives users that unbiased capability, agnostic of what OS you're using, to be able to start a design and then progress through our tiers. So that's a couple of existing examples already in the plan that we're making a down payment on. There will be more that will come. We're looking at the other capabilities that engineers have requested to help get to market faster. And later this year, we'll be announcing more information around what those new capabilities that we will give to those engineers to help them do that will be.
Thanks, Mike. Next question, which operating systems do you support?
Hey, Janice, I'll take that one. So if you're looking at our DesignSpark PCB and DesignSpark mechanical software, which you've had for quite some time now, both of those are Windows native downloadable tools, and we have no plans to introduce versions of Mac or Linux for those. However, as we've shown earlier with the new online schematic drawing tool, that's browser-based, which means that it's platform agnostic, so it can be used on Mac, Linux, and Windows. So that's great news for some people. And as we move forward and introduce other design tools as well, we'll certainly consider how platforms play into that as we move forward.
Thanks, Pete.
Okay.
You talk about helping the environment and sustainability. What actions are you taking, or is this just greenwashing?
I'll take that one again, Janice. So, yeah, so I mean, this revolves around purpose, and it's greenwashing is an interesting thing, but actually, we are really committed to helping design engineers here. We want to help them make smarter choices around sustainable products, and aligned to the RS group and being announced this week, I believe. They are launching a set of products called the Better World product range. So this is the first start of the business now, addressing the needs of engineers who need to find those more greener components and more sustainable components. And along that journey with them, we can help those engineers design those products into their solution. So yeah, we're very committed to it. And it's something I think that we all as engineers need to think more mindfully about when we're designing, in terms of the components we use and the materials that go into it, etc. So yeah, we're very committed to that.
Okay, thanks, Pete. You've mentioned about flexible plans, design, pause, and reactivate. How will that work? What can I do with my projects during pause? Can I look at my projects during pause?
I'll take that, Jen. So yeah, so with when you pause your subscription, with the case of DesignSpark Mechanical, you can still open your projects with the free version in Explorer. There is also a viewer for that is supplied with DesignSpark Mechanical that allows you to view STL files, OBJ files as well. So yes, you can use the Explorer here to view your projects. So hopefully that answers the question.
Thank you, Joy. Okay, thank you. That's all the questions we have. If you have any follow-up questions or are watching on demand, please go to the website at designspark.com. Before we close for today, though, I will hand over to Mike for one final word.
Thank you, Janice. And I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for both the last 13 years. So I think the last 13 years have been a fantastic experience for us. The passion that people have for DesignSpark, for engineering, and the value that it can bring, really blows us away. Yeah, every time that we talk to our audience, every time we meet our members, your passion, your enthusiasm, your skills are amazing. Yeah, we hope we continue to champion that, and we hope what we're giving you gives you more, whilst continuing to protect the things that you value and love as well. Just on that note, please keep the dialogue going. Post your questions in our forums. Keep messaging us. We will commit to follow up on everything that's posted there and give you an answer to all of those questions, as well as pointing you in the direction where you can get more help as well. Thank you very much. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.